We're kicking things off right here in Oakland, California. We got artists, we got cuisines, and we got stuff been cooking in the kitchen. I'm Toni Rochelle, and enjoy your Soundbites.
What up? Pretty good.
Good to see you.
Likewise, brother.
I already started cooking, so
Hey.
come on in.
Thank you, man.
Got you some nice wine from San Lorenzo, Italy.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you for having me.
Okay. So today what we got for you is a nice pan-seared grilled shrimp, right? And then I'm gonna do something special. I'm gonna do a corn fritter with a little bit of Parmesan in there, some butter, some milk, some seasonings, and it's gonna be a nice little fried, clean seafood, cheesy combination.
I'm super excited.
All right, cool.
No, I'm super excited.
All right, let's do it. Man, while I'm getting over there, just like catch me up on like what your life's been like for the last, last year. How's it been? How's 2023 been treating you?
2023 has been a great year. Full of work, full of play, full of fun. Had a lot of good food this year. So really looking forward to this meal, For me, work and play is kind of in that same world. So if I'm not working, I am creating some work. If I'm not on set, I'm at home writing to, turn it into a film or a theatrical play or something. Nobody's home. I'm honing my ability to do nothing well. My well-being is nothing if it isn't a choice and a skill. With my waking hours, I kind of always feel like I'm working, but not working too hard. I live the life of an artist and I don't take it for granted. No one lives here. I let no one rest for too long. I long to think nothing and want to know little. This is nobody's home. The bookshelves are half empty. The glass of water on the kitchen table is half full. And it's work, but it's not the same kind of work as building a house.
Right.
But
it can be tiring, it can be mentally tasking,
Oh yeah.
It's maybe not as physically tasking unless you're, staying up into the wee hours of the night, but.
Oh yeah, I'm a late sleeper for sure.
Oh really?
Go to bed at about 2 a.m., wake up at about 7 a.m. Usually don't get enough sleep most nights.
Yeah.
But the pencils are dull, the erasers are new, thick and unused, my eyes are red, my heart is blue.
Dude, you're a father, right?
I am. I'm a father to a 13-year-old boy, and he has been in my life, my whole adult life. So I really don't know adult life without being a father.
Right.
It's a big part of who I am as a man and who I am as a community member and a person in the world.
I can appreciate the sacrifices you have to make, to be the person you are and to have achieved the levels you have, as an artist.
Yeah.
But are you based in the Bay Area?
Yeah, I'm based right here in the Bay. Been here for about 15 years. I live on the border of Emeryville and Oakland. I've lived in Funktown, I've lived downtown, I've lived by Fruitvale, lived in the Diamond District. So in those 15 years, I've kind of lived in enough neighborhoods in Oakland to kind of see Oakland from a lot of different angles.
Lived by everything it has to offer.
Lived by Lake Merritt.
Right.
Lived in Berkeley for about a year or so. And I worked in San Francisco in menswear fashion retail. The roses are red, but this time the violets are too. Everything's different here. Nothing is the same. My thoughts are not my own, but they all bear my name. Like a child from my seed, or a woman with my seed. These beings I do not own, yet they belong to me. So I was talking about this with the person yesterday. I love the experience of living in the town and working in the city because it allows you to use both cities. It allows you to enjoy both parts of the Bay. But whichever part about it, whichever side of that coin, you know, you land on, it's still a pretty unique experience, because a lot of people who live in Oakland and work in Oakland hardly ever go to the city.
Yeah.
And vice versa. That pattern is shown across the board in our country. Like, a lot of people who are from the south side of Chicago may be reluctant to admit it, but have never really went to the other side, the far other side. And there's people right here in our own hometown. Born and raised in Oakland, they're like, nah, I might go to the city once a year. And not being from here, but having lived here for 15 years, I love experiencing both cities daily if I can.
I would love for you to experience this.
It looks amazing.
Yeah. So that's gonna be our grilled shrimp on a corn fritter with some cheese in it, everything scratch made, some homemade pickles on a nice leafy green bed.
What was the inspiration to this dish and how you kind of prepared it with my style and for my style?
From a distance, I could appreciate your fashion, you know, your style, as well as your spoken word and your personality overall. So I cross-referenced that with the folks in the Bay Area that I knew, held you in high reverence, and I wanted to make something that was gonna really like knock your socks off. It's hot, so don't burn your mouth.
All right.
So,
It smells amazing.
I know, right? So, in homage to your style, I was looking at the, like late 30s, early 40s style of, dapper dressing, and I was thinking like, what kind of foods were popular back then? We were coming out of a depression, So shellfish were readily available. They hadn't hit this skyrocketed price yet. And then we also have our fritter, which was a popular food back then, which is basically an amalgamation of your vegetable that you had on hand, your flour that you had on hand, and a fat, and then you fry it in more fat. But I gave you the healthier option with a beautiful Parmesan Reggiano and organic corn meal, and and a 00 flour. But things, some things still stand whole. If you need to cut the greasiness or the richness of it, you can grab one of those pickles.
Yeah.
But basically, I just wanted to give you an elevated version of what I think people would have been eating in the 40s.
I appreciate that, because I think there's a lost art to how things are done and what is required to do these things. A lot of people love food. A lot of people have high ambition and high expectation when it comes to the meals they eat and pay for. And I like to say I appreciate all food, because I really do appreciate the time it takes to cook it, the resources it takes to grow it. And not everyone has access to everything always. And I think the history really reminded me of that. So thank you.
So man, what do you have coming up next? Like, where can I find you next? Where can I come and see you speak and be you in all your you-ness?
That's a great question. I am working on 2 big projects in the upcoming year that I'm really excited about. One is a show, a theatrical show. It's a one-man show. I wrote it, I perform it. It's 60 minutes long. We recently performed at the Kennedy Center.
That's amazing.
And the 2024 goal is an off-Broadway production of this show in New York or London.
Wow.
So fly out there and come hang out with your boy.
I've been to London once, and I'll come back again for you, man. That's amazing.
And then I'm also writing a new play for the year. And this is the first time as an artist I've been hired to write the play before I ever wrote a single word.
Yeah.
Which is, it's a big risk, but it's a big sign of trust. So I'm excited about that new play. It's gonna be a play about Dr. King and exploring kind of his final thoughts in his last few speeches. And a lot of people like to talk about what King would have done or what King would have thought, and they use his earlier speeches. And I think that it's very interesting to use his last speeches as a way to forward what he was thinking at that time, and how do we carry that with us moving forward.
What would you say is the difference between his most recent speeches and the earlier ones that some people like to, spend the rhetoric off of?
I think a big part of it is his youth.
Yeah.
He died late 30s. He didn't get to reach 40. So as a man, right, what were you thinking when you were 22? if you took the quotes that I said from 25 to 28 or 30, wouldn't be my best stuff.
Oh, absolutely not.
You know?
Anything under 25, I don't want anyone to know what I said.
So King, in his later years, he was maturing his own opinion about the Christian faith and how it solves these world problems like hunger and poverty. And he was having a difference in opinion and changing his mind. You know, early King, he's super hopeful.
Yeah.
Later King, he's like, I don't know, all right. He's you know. And because he was getting more popular, he was also becoming more brave.
Right.
And more bold. And his own community was challenging him. Hey, King, are you really pushing the envelope far enough?
Right.
Which, you know, now you start to think, okay, well, how can I push the envelope a little further?
Yeah.
And the work of making peace is scary work because you don't want to become too pacified.
Absolutely.
And he didn't want to be that person. Like, oh, just call King to settle the black people down.
Yeah.
King was like, no, they're justifiable in their anger.
I don't want to be a pacifist.
And we need to have answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Well,
This is amazing.
I'm glad you like it. One taste bite at a time, one sound bite at a time. We're trying to make a difference.
You gotta sell this sauce.
I do. It's IBC sauce. Island Bay Cocina. You can find it on the website.
Come on, shameless plug.
Shameless
The
plug.
sauce is where it's at.
Well, man, I'm so grateful to have you come as my guest. I'm so thankful
Such
to
a
have you
pleasure.
in my community, and I cannot wait until we meet again. That's the end of our evening, so, man, I hate to cheers with an empty glass. All right, I will not cheers with
There
an
we
empty
go.
glass. All right.
Irresponsible.
Cheers, man.
Appreciate it,
You have a
bro.
great night.